Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's just Moz Plz, and I'm going to be doing a quick video on the IJN Mogami fire starter monster. So I'm going to go through my commander setup, loadout, and then 2 games. So Yamamoto with Kazetsunov and Rue. We're running Burn It Down, Igniter, Punch Through, and Fixated with Refill Station is the legendary perk. Got an AA gun mod 2, steering gear mod 2, concealment mod 1, gunfire mod 2. The whole upgrade and the targeting system as well. Alright, game 1, Bismarck out in the open. We're going to use the island as cover as much as we can and get a fire started on him pronto. First salvo of the game, fire started, which is never really good if you're a German battleship. Take minimal damage. I scoot on in here. And circle back around. Do the same thing. Again, use the island as cover. And we're just going to pelt him as much as possible. That destroyer pops up over there. Think about shooting it, but why? Why? You know, risk the miss when this dude is just lumbering toward us, just repeatedly, volley after volley of just fireworks. Another fire started. Honestly, there's not a crazy, abundance of difficulty or thought that goes into playing this thing, but it's definitely fun. It's definitely fun whittling people's health down over time with just fire. I mean, just one salvo gives us 2. He's done for. I'd be upset. I would be upset if I was that guy. So on the other side, we're now over adjacent to the Iowa. Gonna try to do the same thing. I feel like the German battleships, as fun as they are, the battle cruisers and the battleships, I feel like they are just tinder. You just start so many fires on them, it's insane. Iowa, I don't get as lucky with the fire, but he's still, I mean, what do you expect? Just driving out in the open of the map, broadside to my entire team. I haven't really had to reposition at this point. It's just, target rich environment over here. I've been able to just, stay back like this. As annoying as it is to play against this type of thing, it's the higher IQ play. I can't stand when I have to play against someone doing something like this, but you use the island as cover and you just launch shots over top of it when you can. I try to get a little cheeky shot here through the, I guess, crevice of that cliff. I didn't get anything though. So now we're back where we started. Somner and the Jean Bart are out here, and the I don't know if you'd call it a perk, but one of the traits of Japanese cruisers is that difficult to land long shots. It's kind of being evident there with that destroyer, but John Bart is just Frenching his way right towards us, and we're gonna try to get him on fire, which we do. So just try to rinse and repeat. I haven't really taken any damage at all this game, at least at this point. I popped sonar here just to kind of open up some visibility on any torps that maybe he didn't see, make sure no more were coming, hopefully get him around the corner, surviving that, but it's all she wrote for him. We got another fire on John Bart, and he is still just kind of lumbering out in the open. Easy pickings. Another fire. And he's actually returning fire at this point. So I haven't had the opportunity to go far down the French battleship line, but and I think that one's a premium as well. But be that as it may, Richelieu and that one, they're pretty terrifying. So he did land a shot. I pull back, working on these Yetin at this point. Jean Bart's just self-immolating at this point. Try to help him speed along on his demise. Even further back on this side, try to follow this Yetin. I launched some torps preemptively. They were close, but no cigar. Doesn't matter though. He is railing us with that secondary battery. But we are going to just, level-headed, lots of fire, burn him to death. Now, during all this, I obviously, noticed it when I'm watching the video back, but I didn't know that that destroyer had been just, in view, like 4 feet to where I'm not looking. And so when I was like, oh, shit. And I turned and immediately he became the priority. And I'm glad, because had I just kind of sat there tunnel visioned on that Yetin, chances are not only would I have not gotten a kill off this Fletcher, but those torps there probably would have killed me. But now that we're on him, not gonna let him get away. Smoke's not gonna save you. You're gonna burn. Not with that one, but this next one right here, you're done for. So, 75,000 damage. I think that's what, 11 fires. Not a crazy game, but just this was literally my first game in this ship today. Team results, XP, almost at the top. So game 2. This one, admittedly, was a little bit hairier. I think it was, partly because of the map, and I kind of had to push a little bit when I went for cap circle. We did have a carrier, but on the flip side, that means so did they. And there's a reason I always try to take a AA, equipment. So further along, Yetin's in range. We've been spotted by our good friend, Mr. Carrier. I believe in this game was a Shokaku. Try to get in this dude's smoke as quick as we can, kind of simultaneously launching at this Yetin. Doesn't matter though. Homeboy's on us, and that's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this little saga. But it doesn't, hinder our objective. I mean, we are going to not necessarily kill this guy quickly, but we are going to make him very uncomfortable. So there's the first fire. Debate shooting at the shores, but again, why even risk it when there's a just battleship, battle cruiser heading right towards you out in the open? So basically, my thought process anytime I see Bismarcks, and any of the German big boys, is do everything you can while that you have distance. That way the secondaries are just not even part of the equation. So we're immediately just kind of dodging torps here. We're going to be dancing with torps a lot this game. Now, I did make a pretty unfortunate mistake here. So instead of being aware of the destroyer that pops up, and instead of jumping in to prioritize dealing with the destroyer, I stayed on this Yetin, just tunnel visioned, and unfortunately, when I do focus on him, it's a little too late, and our destroyer is going to pay the price for that. So I mean, it happens. Not my finest moment. He even calls for the ping a couple times. He's spamming it at this point, and which is when I acknowledge it. So now that he's up here, I mean, the dude's already dead by the time my guns line up. Like I said, unfortunate, but now we're here. Now we're on it. I have the battleship beside me, who I'm assuming is going to be helping me out here. And while he's still in sight, I'm making sure that all my shells at least are going in that direction, because they sure didn't land there. He pops up off the old radar, and we're back on the Zietin at this point, who is still alive. More torps that we need to dodge. Oh boy, ate one of those. I think I eat both of these. Yeah, so we take both of those. This little sequence was not the finest one, but like I said, it happens. So now we're kind of in agreement that we all push C. I let them know that we need to figure out where that destroyer is, the Ost, whatever. And we begin our push in there. And my sole purpose at this little part of the fight is to eliminate that destroyer and avenge the one that died. So I'm still kind of taking some rounds from my right, but no time to worry about that. We've got to kill this dude. Still taking shots, but at least at this point I have a moment to breathe from the carrier. Looks like the rest of our team is kind of all bunched up in the back, with just me in this battleship. And here comes the planes. So, like I said, I always find it extremely helpful to have some sort of upgrade or a perk or anything that is dedicated to the anti-air potential. Just because, I mean, dude, like, you're trying to play the game, and it's just another layer of an obstacle in the form of airplanes constantly swarming me. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're, you know, a part of the game. I get it. I play carriers occasionally, but I hate you. I hate you for doing it. I mean, they changed the real life meta. They changed naval doctrines in a very, very brief window of time. So I mean, they're super impactful. You don't even have to do like crazy damage in a carrier to like seriously influence the game for your team. On the contrary, you could be in a carrier game and one carrier not doing, you know, the scouting or the spotting or doing any damage, then you are a serious hindrance on your team. Nevertheless, they're part of the game, so that's just kind of how I cope with it, with, you know, some anti-air, some upgrades and stuff like that. I've been trying to whittle down the Shikaku, been dodging some of his torps, just trying to deter him from, you know, making my position untenable. Looped around the island, heading towards the carrier because I want to get him out of the game as quickly as possible. And again, the rest of my team is kind of bunched up near, or at least closer to the battleships and the cruisers that they have. I took some shots at the Edinburgh, and I took some shots at the Shikaku. Edinburgh didn't really pan out. I did hit the Shikaku, but he's all over me with these torps. Just let me live. And I thought I did a decent job trying to swivel and dodge, but you know, Mogami just too thick, catches me on the side. Edinburgh. I'm not a huge fan of those, and I'm speaking from the perspective of playing against them. I feel like they're very good. Very good. I'm not even sure if that's tech tree or if it's a premium. I think it is a tech tree, right? Anyway, we're still in here. Fortunately enough, we have at least 1,300 out of 39,000 health left, and we're circling around. I'm gonna have to bust a Yui because someone had already taken out the carrier, and with this dude's dying breath, with his dying breath, he is still just dead set on killing me. I don't blame him. I would do the same thing, but my AA gunners are just going through it right now. Fortunately, he misses all that HE. So we're heading back to, I guess, the last known location of the destroyer. My team's actually pinging it out. Feels pretty good when you have like a pretty cohesive team, especially considering like how often people just seem to put the controller down and just go in another room sometimes. But team's actually working together pretty well. It makes me feel even worse about our destroyer dying at the beginning, but their destroyer pops up. I'm immediately lobbing HE at him. I don't really need to set a fire or anything like that. We can just do enough base damage with the HE, and I'm a little reluctant to just kind of push through the gap on my right, but I kind of just said F it and a little bit of lateral thrust from our carrier. He's just gonna mosey on past, and I'm gonna head through the gap. Now I assumed, and the carrier actually died right there. That's kind of funny. I assumed he knew I was gonna be coming, but I was confident. I was confident that I'd be able to handle my business quick. So first salvo, over half this health. I considered like maybe it'd be quicker if I just torp, but it just takes a year and a half to swivel that thing around. He torps, but it doesn't matter because you're dead. He actually would have killed me had he had his guns out and not been focusing on torps. Anywho, that is going to be it for me this time. Definitely appreciate anyone and everyone who checks out the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what I did right, what I did wrong, all that good stuff. And I shall see you in the next one. Later.